Alright, so we're gonna go over this cooling system, but I'm gonna give you the heads up. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of footage on the cooling system, so I'm just gonna simply go over the parts that's been used, give you some numbers. Alright, let's go ahead and get everything. Now this went to the Alright, so unfortunately, I lost a lot of footage when it came down to this actual cooling system. So I'm just gonna pretty much go over the hoses, what I did, and the parts I got. So for the lower radiator hose, it's gonna be a 70115, and what I had to do is I just had to cut down here for this to go ahead and line up, but it actually worked out pretty good. I'm gonna have to give you the hopefully I'll put it on this actual video, but I went ahead and looped this. I'm gonna do the vintage air, but at least for right now, this is replacing my heater core line, so I just went from here to there. Haven't had any issues. I'll give you that part number there. This is just a flex hose, 8107 something. Hopefully I'll be able to put that in the description as well. And then don't forget the steam line. You see this here, and that goes down to here, so it goes from here to here, and that's your steam line, and that actually goes to the radiator. All right, this goes from the radiator. This is the upper radiator hose. That's the lower radiator hose, and then we just got our Griffin radiator. Right, I'm gonna provide the actual number to that in just a little bit. But I went ahead and ran my little line here. Hopefully I can provide, hopefully I got all this stuff, but this is a nice little set here. Check this out. See that? It's pretty nice. Now the Griffin radiator, that is a dual fan. It does have the transmission lines, and I am about to show them to you right now. Alright, so here's the transmission lines, comes here and here. Now you might know this, but I ain't know this, but so for these transmission lines, what you got to do is when you actually use, I did actually AN6. You saw my video of the fuel with the AN6, so you already know what time it is. But I got my line here, line there, so it's the inlet and the return line. And you see I went ahead and used the AN6, dropped the 90, and dropped it straight down here, AN6 lines, no problems. But what I was gonna say is for this thread, I believe it's for pipe thread, whatever the thread it is, you have to use the tape, the Teflon tape. All right, you got to use that or it's gonna leak. I didn't know that, so initially when I hooked up. All right, so you see this sensor down here? This is the coolant sensor, right? We already went over the transmission lines, right? AN6. I'm going to show you where it hooks up in the transmission in a little bit. But from there, we also got that gray line right there that's going from the radiator, which is the coolant sensor, that goes to the actual relay. And so when it gets up to 185 degrees, if I believe or recall, then the fans are going to catch on, right? The next thing you got from the relay is the yellow. The yellow is supposed to be a constant 12 volt, which is fused with a 30 amp. Then you got the orange, which is 12 volts, but it depends on you. You can actually hook this up where it's 12 volts constant, 12 volt constant, or you can do 12 volts and then 12 volts auxiliary. It depends on if you want to, or accessory. It depends on if you want to go ahead and have the fan on even when you cut the car off and be running, if it's too hot, or when it cuts off, it just cuts off. So depends on how you want to run it. And then you have the red. That red is going to the actual fan, and then it's going to be a little confusing, but For my ground, I put it yellow, I know, but you want that ground to be hooked up to the chassis. So that's the complete wiring for your cooling system, right? You got your 2 relays for each fan, all right, and then you got your actual lines. I did AN6 lines, but you got the lines that's going into the actual radiator. So let's go into the car and let me show you how it's actually connected. Okay, so you can see the AN6 lines are going to this little block off plate that's going to allow for you to be able to get the inlet and the outlet in. I got that from eBay. I think just 30 bucks. I'm going to see if I can put the link in there. But hey man, it's pretty clean. There's no issues. Everywhere else they wanted like $100 or something for it, but somebody's selling on eBay. I'm going to drop the link on and that's it. This radiator, I'm gonna throw all this stuff to you as far as the prices and everything, but I probably say the biggest thing is when you are just getting all this ready, unless you're that efficient, go ahead and just use distilled water. Don't be using that regular water. Use distilled water. Fill it up. You can get it from Kroger's. Cost you about 80 cents each. Fill this up with distilled water when you're testing everything, and then after that, once you go ahead and get everything in, I mean, you can go ahead and drain from the, can't really see down there, but you can drain from the coolant sensor, temperature sensor, because that's your outlet. And you can go ahead and put in, coolant 50/50, whatever it might be, whatever it calls for. But, hey, that's it. That's the entire cooling system. And because of this LS swap, it's so costly. Yeah, I got somebody coming to pick this up today. I need every little bit. Now the 350 rocket, I'm sorry y'all, I'm gonna have to keep that. Me and my boys probably gonna go ahead and restore that together, but the 350 trans, I can let that go. Yeah, we didn't forget about you. We didn't forget about you, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just start to break this down, take all this off, and start